me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, first thing I want to do is thank Kevin. I wasn't here last meeting because of motion sickness.
You had what kind of sickness?
Motion sickness. There were too many motions on the agenda.
That's a good one. You are right, there were. Yeah, we did it pretty fast though.
4 minutes.
We have 4
Yeah,
minutes.
it
Okay.
You were gone too, right? Yeah, because Mike and I we were on it.
All right. So we need to start tonight with approving the meeting minutes of that meeting on February 25th, 2025. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 25th, 2025.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any corrections or anything? I just had one comment, and I may be wrong, but when I was reading it, there was a spelling of MACAU, which may be macaw, but I know it's like macaw down in the Philippines spelled that way. If it's the tribe, it should be H at the end. But I only remember seeing it a couple of times.
I don't remember us
You see it
talking
there?
about.
It's
No,
halfway down the page.
The first page?
It's
It was
when
not a
Brenda
big
was-
deal, but people have trouble sometimes with clay lock, so.
Mhm.
It was under
Second
the
page,
school success.
yeah, where Brenda
Oh,
talked about the
oh.
partnership.
Oh, with the
Looking.
different
Maybe-
schools,
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
Yeah, I didn't want to think we were dealing in
MA
Philippines.
KAH.
Yep, there you
All right. If there's nothing else, and that was pretty petty, I'm sorry.
That's
Please
okay.
forgive me.
No, that's important.
All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes of regular meeting February 25, 2025, say aye.
I
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, they are approved. How about we adopt tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion, we adopt tonight's agenda.
All right. Is
I'll
there a-
second.
Thank you. Any additions or what?
Did you want to add?
Not until the consent agenda.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Bill.
That's okay. I don't hear any additions or last minute deletions. So all those in favor of the agenda tonight, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. I know it's early. Nathan, is there anybody on board that wants to say something? No. Okay. Nobody here wants to say anything, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. I'd like to suggest that we remove the resignation of Danny Winger from the consent agenda so that we can discuss it a little bit in executive session. With that in mind, is there a motion? With that change, is there a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda?
Make a motion, we accept tonight's consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Can we, I'd like to go right now, if we may, it'll probably take, it's 3:35, and it'll probably take 5 minutes.
5:35.
What did I say? 3:35? Oh,
So you have
okay,
to
it's
say
5:35
it's 5:35.
to
We will
discuss,
be, go ahead.
to discuss a personnel action. And we will be back in
Time. Give the time when we'll be back.
Oh, we'll be back at 5:45.
Give or take 2 minutes.
No,
Did you say 5 minutes?
5:45.
10
Remember, we
minutes.
have to do the time and then we can't come out of there until 5:45.
okay. Sorry, guys.
I know. Barely get back.
Well, thanks for taking those kiddos out there. It's nice to see Spartan Service back, you know, and now Rita's on board. And,
You know, she was great.
She,
And,
I had her, I told her to meet up with you that day because I talked with her and
Oh, there you go.
We are back, 5:45. Well, okay, so with regards to the resignation of Danny Winger as part of our consent agenda, we will entertain a motion to accept his resignation from the FHA career and technical education teacher effective August 31st, 2025. Is there such a motion?
I make a motion, we accept Danny's Winger's resignation.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Oh,
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. Yeah.
But as far as Tom, I don't know.
Yeah, we forgot about Tom. Hey, you're gonna come back and be the voice of the Spartans still, right?
We were just talking about that. I will tell.
You did a good job on that.
Okay, time will tell. We'll have to take that. Okay, let's move to page 2. Reports.
do we have to approve the whole agenda or just?
We
just
already
Dan?
approved the consent agenda minus Danny,
Yeah.
and we just approved Danny, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
we voted. Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. Getting older, huh?
It's just fast and furious. We're going through this.
All right. Reports, superintendent's report. First up is the Quileute Valley Scholarship Auction coming up next weekend.
Saturday, starting at 9, going till, I guess, 9 p.m., somewhere in there. And then starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday, ending around 8 or whenever the seniors get through all of their 900 plus items. We have a bunch of items here. I visited the senior class when they were doing their Friday meeting. They look excited. We had the library full of seniors, so that was a good show for them. And then there's a lot of really good items like the Corvette.
Are they gonna move that into the commons?
Bill?
We parked
You can
outside.
drive that in there.
Okay, okay.
He's like, no.
All right, so be there, be square. Should be a fun time. Okay, appreciation of classified support staff. Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah, this week is our state, and I think it's national appreciation of classified support staff for all of our custodial staff, maintenance staff, kitchen staff, bus drivers, office assistants, support staff, instructional paraeducators, instructional supervisors on the playground, our nurse, our technology. It takes a village of classified support staff to run our schools. So I appreciate all of the work that they do. I know our building principals and Bill, everyone really appreciates their support.
As
Did I
do
say
we.
office staff too? Yeah, I
think
did.
so.
Yeah.
As do we.
Absolutely.
So, great. What else is happening for them?
I think each of the buildings are doing an appreciation day. They usually get spoiled with food, treats.
Mm.
Mhm.
Good.
Mhm.
Well, it seems like it's coinciding with the appreciation of retired teachers.
Correct. We used to see a lot more retired teachers in our buildings, but we're not seeing them. They're
Doing
other
substitutes, you
things.
mean?
Yeah. Mhm. They're
That's
more with the Seroptimus Club, supporting us in different ways out in the community, but we also appreciate them.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciations to all of you. You know, you were included in that too, weren't you, Hazel?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
yeah.
Your support staff.
District
big
office
time.
staff.
Thank you,
You bet.
Hazel.
Yeah. Well, here's Sarah. Speaking of the devil.
Hi, Sarah.
All right, attendance report. Lay it on us, Diana.
So if you look, and I'm not going to have Hazel put it up, but if you look in the chart, you can see the bottom. I had her printed off that looks like this, but you can see where we are with the month. So the sad news is that we dipped below the 70%. Our goal was to reach 80% or so. For this year, we're at 69% attendance, regular attendance rate. With, you can see that elementary school is the first, the middle school is the second large blue line, and then the high school. And overall QVSD, kids missing 10 to 20% is about 23%. About 5.9% are missing 20 to 30%. And about 1.5% are missing 30 to
Where are you
40%.
getting all these numbers?
If you look at the chart that looks like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, I got that.
where it says QVS, well, it doesn't say, Lindsay put this together. It says it doesn't say, where it says
I see.
926,
926, no, I don't even see a 926.
scroll down a little bit.
Date.
Got nothing.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, you want to put it up there? You can put it
Yeah,
up.
can you put it up there?
Yeah.
We'll put it up on the,
I don't have that. I think the same thing.
oh.
Yeah. Oh, the right year might help. Well, who does that?
Go to 227.
Mm-hmm.
There's tabs on the bottom.
You gotta go to 20.
Oh,
Ah.
holy cow. That's a busy chart.
So look up here, I'll put your eyes up here so you can see.
It's fuzzy.
No, so right. Okay.
But you can see in the far right, it's 926, 1017, 1125, and 116. So the first blue line there, that 26.72, that's Forks Elementary School.
That's the number of.
And those are
missing.
students missing 10 to 20%. And the red is 20 to 30%. The yellow is 30 to 40%. The middle one is Forks Middle School, which according to the chart has the least. And then Forks High School in the right one. And then the combination, the next one over at 22.95, that's the district where we were at the end of February. So if you add up all of the 22.95%, 5.94, we dip below 70%. We're right at 69% of our students are attending regularly. It's the 31 that fall into one of those categories. Our goal this year is to hit 80%. So again, we're going to be up, climbing up the hill, trying to hold on to our kids. And so I know for this last month in February, at least my understanding is that there were a lot of illnesses. The crud was going around,
Bad, yeah.
still going around pretty bad. Uh-huh.
And it's a several days out.
So what are these percentages up here? It says district average. What's that all about? That looks like we're doing pretty well.
Oh, so go up to the top. That's the average daily attendance.
Oh, up to the
District average,
Average, so that's chronic
right
absenteeism.
up there.
But if you go up there, that's the average daily attendance. If we go by average daily attendance, it looks really good.
We're at 91.
But then if you dial in, and again, this is a switch that we had after COVID. So the state's trying to track the students because if they're not here, they can't learn. And I mean, it's still a concern statewide. I was at a regional meeting and the theme is kids not attending school, workers not attending school. It's just the absenteeism. And again, if our staff aren't here, they can't learn. And if our students aren't here, they can't learn. So
So
Dang
aren't
it.
some of the students missing 20 to 29% also, are they separate from the students missing 30 to 39, even though 30 to 39 is also missing 20 to 29%?
no, those are separated out. So only if you would fall in the 20 to 29%. And so if you're a kid who misses 30%, let's say we're at day 100, you've missed 30 days, you're in that other category for
So
31.
the total missing for middle school then is 4, 5,
Right
is like
around,
25%.
right around, there are that who would be considered chronic absent. Not missing more than
Right.
2 days a month. That's
Okay,
the
but that's 20,
definition.
that's 25.
25%
of
of
the
the
students
students,
are missing.
correct.
And at the high school, okay,
It's 41.7.
But if you look at the dates down there, 9, 10, 11, and in January, the flu hasn't been going on that entire time, so you can't really use the flu as,
Well, that could have increased that blue one, depending on which kids. And again, I would refer to any of my administrators who are here. We just need to keep helping in any way we can to make sure that the message is clear that they need to be here.
so are you getting responses from these kids in the 20 to 29 and the 9? So we figure that 10 to 19 tends to be illness.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, but
Could be.
more than likely, some of that is illness. But when you start getting to up to a 30%, 40%, 50%,
Yeah, we're
what,
meeting
are we
with-
getting responses from those kids?
We're meeting with families when they reach chronic absenteeism at a certain level, and we're getting responses from them. Some of these situations are that they do have some major medical issues going on. So we had like, I don't want to go into a lot of details because it was such a small school, but medical issues that really like they have surgery or they have other situations that they just can't, it's out of their control.
Shouldn't there be
So-
some kind of pardon me for cutting you off, shouldn't there be some sort of a stat or something that would indicate that? So, because the way it looks like these kids are just
not-
ne'er-do-wells and we can't get them to come, but they've got legitimate reasons for not being there. Doesn't mean that they wouldn't be there if they could,
Yeah.
but we should
still-
account for that somehow. So it would certainly make us feel better.
Yeah, we meet, I meet monthly with, my attendance people, and we create plans for reaching out to families and, but it's, we have to record it on Skyward as absence medical or absence, whatever. And so that can't change. What we do is when we look at student by student, we know what's going on with those families, and so we support them. When you're not here, here's what you can do to stay on top of academics. So is the absence affecting academics is one of the big questions that we do ask. And if it is affecting academics, then we provide supports for those students.
So what's your chronic absentees then? When you hit that level and start doing that, what is that?
What is it?
How many days do they have to miss when you start?
Well, it's more than 2 days in a month. And so what we're doing is we first targeted the unexcused absences, so that those are the ones we have to refer to truancy. I think we've done a handful of those this year at the middle school. Well, maybe not a handful yet, but maybe 3 or so. And then the chronic the ones that are chronic and excused, depending on if it's affecting their academics, we target those next. Because we have a small staff, and so there's only so many we can do, so we kind of tier the levels of intervention that we.
And who does these contacts?
So Kala Jackson.
I don't need names necessarily. They're
It's our-
office people.
Our student support team.
Oh.
So our attendance secretary, Kala, Ashlyn, Brittany, myself, we kind of triage and decide who's gonna do what contact depending on the student. and
I
what
see.
connections we have.
the students that are 40 to 50% absent, are they participating when they do come to school, or are they kind of troublesome kids?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they
They're,
are. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so even when they
Some of
are
them
here, they're not really,
And some of them we've, we look at, is there an alternate placement that would be better suited for the situation? So we work with Cindy Fiesel on some of those and see if
But some of them,
daily
even if
program is a
they're
better
here.
program for them.
Yeah, even if they're here, they're gonna be disruptive and not.
If they're behind. Actually, I think we're doing a really good job, to be honest.
It's a hard
I know the
situation.
numbers don't look as good, but we know exactly where every student stands.
I would echo that on the elementary part. Our process looks slightly different, but we are meeting as a team once a week to talk about students and behaviors, and attendance is part of that. And then we're meeting once a week to talk about attendance. And like Elena said, we can dial in and say, okay, this is why this kid is missing. We're reaching out, we're making connections. These are the things. At the elementary level, you can't start, truancy isn't a factor until they get to be 7. So that whole kindergarten year, especially for some of our new parents, just the idea of school being something like, this is how we student, we come to school every day. Our numbers are higher at the kindergarten level than they are in the rest of the grades. And that's just the conversation of, and the messaging of school is important and your kid needs to be here in order to be successful. And so sending out messaging about the importance of attendance and building those healthy habits as a kindergartner is one of the things that we're doing in our building as well.
At the same time, when they do come here and they have 101 temperature, we're sending them in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get 'em out of here.
That's in March, we just have, on a daily basis, we're sending kids home.
Well, usually first, second, third, fourth grade, that would be the parents' fault that they're not coming to school.
In the elementary school, yeah, attendance is almost 100% driven by the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't
it's
feel like getting up and taking you to school today.
yeah. And it's training, it's having hard conversations with parents about, if you need to set your late 15 minutes every day, set your day back 15 minutes.
Go back to daylight savings time.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Okay,
Okay, so stay tuned. We're gonna keep working on it.
But it's getting better, isn't it? A little bit.
Well, we're already lower than we ended the year about where we are right now. So it'll be interesting again, I think, to really take a look at our data and see what some of, I know one of the things that is affecting Sarah in her building is she's minus a counselor. Remember, we've not had a counseling candidate at all, and that's a huge component where Sarah may have been able to focus on another area if she had a, we split our our middle school counselor, but still, that's a deficit.
That one lady that retired, Maribel, what was her name?
Maribel?
Maribel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that hurt. Didn't it?
Mhm. And we've had it posted all year. We had one candidate we tried to hire at Christmas. She took a job in a bigger city. I'm assuming where she could find a place to live.
Yeah.
We have one potential candidate now that we'll be interviewing, so we're hoping that we can get somebody on board still.
that's what they ought to auction off at the senior auction is a house,
Place to
a
live.
place to live, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, well, thanks, Diana.
Stay tuned. I do want to give kudos to my staff. It is not easy. If you wanted to see pre-COVID numbers, we still had high numbers. I don't think they were this high, but COVID did us no favors when kids didn't have to come to school. But still, we're going to keep working on it and send the message that being at school is important.
And then when they get here, proving to them that it is.
So that's about, the high school level, 10 to 19%, that's like 56 kids.
Mhm.
So,
What was that again? Say it
well,
louder.
they got on percentages, so that's 56 kids, 56.5 that have been absent 10 or 19% of the time. You see the percentage,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
can't,
yeah.
this how many kids are in the high school and take it by that percentage, and that's how many kids. I mean, I just used, I don't know how many in high school, I just used
212 right now.
Oh, so,
Yeah, that's a lot.
Few less.
so 212.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, 55 kids.
let's move on then, if that's all, Diana.
That's it.
Board member reports. Mike, do you have anything tonight?
I noticed the Smile Mobile over there at the elementary school.
It's
How did-
frowning.
What?
It was frowning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How does that work? I mean, it pulls up, does every
It
kid
opens its mouth.
in
and
the elementary come out and get their teeth?
No, it's
worked
only
on?
for families who want to access it.
Yeah, so, Erin
Hendrickson,
Hendrickson, coordinates that with the.
She's our nurse.
And, they, open it up to the community. Families obviously get first, lives on getting appointments, but we really just try to recruit families who don't have access to dental care. And, they do screenings and they also do some follow-up if this family does not have insurance or, needs that follow-up.
Who pays for that? Is that a volunteer thing?
It's not.
I don't know
I
who,
think that
it's a nonprofit program.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's probably going away. All
So
right.
it's open to the community, but it's on school property?
Yeah, and the thinking is that you would then have, parents who might need it, or we could recommend children who we know need dental health, whose parents don't have, insurance. Mhm. And it's, again, if you have it at the school, they're more likely to see it. They're more likely to say,
Oh, let's use it.
I can find out how many of our kids, it's there a week or is it there 2 weeks? Do you know?
There's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We can find out what the usage rate was, but
But what kid in elementary goes, yeah, I want to go to the dentist?
Well, they all do, because none of them have been before. They don't know what to be
And
afraid of.
relax.
I think, yeah, they take Medicaid, or if you don't have insurance, you can sign up to go.
And the nice thing, piggybacking off of the attendance conversation, the really nice thing about having it right on site is for our students who need to go and see the dentist. It's right there and they're right back in class. They don't have to go to Port Angeles, so they're not missing a whole day to go. And so, and for our kids that don't have insurance, most of the time they have to go to Jamestown or into Bremerton. So it's a whole day process.
And it's a partnership, through Apple Health or Medicaid with Delta Dental of Washington and Seattle Children's. They serve over 40,000 children.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Anything else?
Nope.
Kevin?
Well, I noticed we're having a board meeting on January 28th.
We already did.
I know. Oh, on that reader board
Out
up
on the
there, I
reader
saw
board.
that.
Oh.
Who's doing that one? I would go by there and I go, 128.
Okay.
Trying to do both of them, the one out front and then.
They don't coincide with each other.
Mm-mm.
They hook up completely different, so.
I just thought that was kind of odd.
I was there. Where were you?
I was probably, I don't know, playing hooky.
You were absent.
I was absent.
I think you had an eye appointment.
Yeah,
Oh, I might have-
Susie did.
That's right.
Yeah.
all right.
I knew I missed it.
Anything else, Kevin?
No, looking forward to the scholarship auction. And when soccer start? First
It's
game?
already,
Thursday.
Thursday's the first, is it the first home game?
Yeah, it's the non-league.
This coming Thursday here?
Yeah.
And their matches. Great.
Grades too?
JV and varsity.
Hang on and I'll
JV at
tell
5,
you.
Varsity at 7.
What's that?
JV plays at 5 and varsity plays at 7 against Port Angeles.
7?
The fast pitch, they're playing in Montesano. Oh, they already played in
did.
Mons. Yeah,
Was that
that's right.
Saturday or-
It's the baseball is playing in Port Angeles on the 12th.
That tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
What time does that start?
4.
Okay.
It's in PA though.
Got moved, right?
That was in PA. The
Yeah.
baseball is versus Kingston is here in Beaver on 15th Saturday.
It might be, we think we're changing it. We're just waiting to hear back from Kingston. Yeah.
Changing it to someplace else,
Yeah.
drier,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Arizona.
you're right.
Spring training.
That's why we need our turf fields.
That's what we
Yes,
do,
it
yeah.
is.
It's
And
getting
warmer, too.
scheduling difficult.
There's a
for all
nice
of you.
article in the paper today, if you haven't read it,
I haven't,
about our stadium,
what paper?
the PDN.
What? They wrote a nice article?
Not our stadium, our fields, yeah, the
Baseball.
fast pitch fields, yeah.
Cool. Ron, you got anything?
No, but they did, the Lions Club's been working on the scoreboards at Beaver and they're up. Looks like they got the power in the process, so hopefully by the first games.
Wow,
They got two big scoreboards that
Yeah,
are really
they look
nice
nice.
looking, yeah.
you won't need binoculars to see.
No, you'll
Mhm.
be able to see, except when you drive by, you won't be able to see it
No.
anymore, but
No, you have to
Cool.
concentrate on the game
yeah, there you go.
when you're driving by. Okay, great.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I have, and of course the auction. So.
Shannon?
Only thing I had was, I was gonna bring that up about, but I got rid of my email. I think I brought it up before about our, like the boards in the gym. What one has like at the next level and has the kids that are playing in college
Mhm.
and has their pictures. And then I thought it'd be cool to have one that states like the ones that are in the
Serving our
military.
country.
Mhm. Diana had found a really cool, I don't know if we could share it or whatever,
Oh,
but
yeah, let me see
kinda-
if I can get it to,
it'd be like, say, a TV rather than a board. Have like a TV, and then it'd be really easy to change kids' pictures. And especially for like the military one, we could list everybody. You know,
hang on, I'm gonna see if I
who's
can get,
active
Like a
and
little kiosk.
kind
Going
of.
to the gym.
Then on the games, we could have replay. We could go back and watch it. Like a
Yeah.
Megatron.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
But I just think it'd be great to honor.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting,
okay,
of
Hazel, I
those.
just sent it to you.
there it isn't.
I definitely would like to see those that are serving in our military, our kids that are serving. I think that's great for our community to see, and other kids to see how many are actually serving our country right now.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, I showed Bill Henderson today.
Oh, did you? You saw
This
it?
is, I tried to
Did
make
you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the military one.
like,
That's what I
you
like.
could do
Yeah.
one that big, you know, and then it's a touch screen and you could touch it and then it would, somebody would have to load up all the information.
Yeah.
But those are really cool. Yeah, a lot of the big museums have those where they're interactive boards where you can touch them.
And I think it'd be cool so we could go way back and have those that serve.
Mhm.
Where would that be? In the entry? Not in the gym.
Not inside the
Mhm.
gym, but maybe in the entry there. Right there. Like where we have that one board that's not updated.
How much are we talking?
I haven't
I
checked
don't
yet,
know.
but I'll probably have Bill.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Bill.
share that picture. I mean, it's just one example. They're pretty cool though.
Mhm. I've seen them before.
Remember when we were in
Yeah.
DC, they had all of
Yeah.
those,
But they also had one of the high schools that we went and looked at.
Let me see if I can scroll through it.
oh, look to the right, can you
Yeah, through the
just click on
pictures.
that, yeah. I mean, that's just we already have those, but you can get a bigger one. Yeah, keep going. That-
Oh, sorry, my mouse is.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
could
that'd be
put
kind of cool.
current event stuff on there, you know?
Mhm.
Or
You know, like
January
Reese
25th.
Williams just
school board
graduated.
meeting.
TVs,
Just that, yeah.
oh, a big wall. Turn out TV style ones. Oh, that one's different.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll check into pricing, and then it's about getting somebody to get all the data in the system.
AI.
Well,
Mhm,
there you go.
mhm.
You'll learn about that, right?
Okay, thanks, Shannon. Anything else?
Nope, not for me.
I spent a day last week with Diana and Bill and some others. We interviewed 5 architects that wanted to design our middle school. And Diana's doing some follow-up. And when that's complete, the group will get together again and come up with a final recommendation for the board to pick an outfit to design our middle school and help us pass the bond. Anything you want to add to that?
No, just we had really good show. There was a day when we could not get any architect to apply for any RFQ or maybe one. So the fact that we had 6 qualified candidates, it was a long day. We were literally here for 9 hours. Very interactive. We learned a ton about the whole process in itself, and I'll be following up with reference checks and a follow-up interview with 2 of the firms. And then I'll take it back to the committee with that information, and then based on their recommendation, we'll recommend it to you
So hopefully that'll happen
next
by the
meeting.
next meeting.
Were they
And then we can-
local or
They were
From,
in
in
Washington,
Washington?
all of them.
and then hopefully we can get started, because even though we think we have a year and a half until a bond, you all know how fast a year and a half goes.
And
so-
then the really critical date is December 1 of 2026, because if we do it prior to that, we get to use our 2019 numbers. And in 2019, it was COVID before we lost a bunch of students, and they kept our average attendance based on the year prior. So that 2019, 2020 goes away. And why that's critical is because that'll maximize our SCAP, which is School Construction Assistance Program. We'll get more money from the state timber dollars. And so that's kind of why we would want to speed up the process.
Right.
And so if we go out for a replacement bond, it's not a new tax, a replacement bond of what we currently have. We were thinking February of 2027. We really want to do it in November of 2026 to capture that 2019 FTE. And if so, you can push your bond, how you collect your bonds down the road when the other one expires,
Mhm.
when the current one expires.
Plus, you have to have, what's and so many
40%
of the last election.
of
or
the last general election.
The turnout has to meet. There was a school, which one was it over?
Puyallup.
Puyallup. They passed the bond, but they couldn't.
They didn't
They
have.
didn't have the
percentage,
validation.
Percentage of validation from the last general election, so.
Oh, really?
Yes, so they lost, I don't know, hundreds of millions,
Mhm.
wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, for Puyallup. I read that and I go, holy smokes, we gotta watch that.
That's
Yeah.
an awful.
Well, can you work with
Yeah.
PA? Aren't they gonna be building? Didn't they just pass a bond to build a new school?
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah.
They'll be
couple-
looking for an architect too, and I'm sure these guys that we
Same with
interviewed.
Squim passed in
I'm
there.
sure that
Yeah.
our guys we interviewed were probably putting in there too. What's that?
So they
The
did a capital
yeah.
levy where they collected the money for 4 years for the capital levy. Now that they're in their 4th year of collection, they're going to build the middle school. And then they passed $140 million bond to
Fix up.
do the high school, not all of it, and an elementary. I can't remember which one. And then Squim, same thing. They're replacing an elementary, doing some other remodeling for the high school and improvements, bus routes or bus loops and stuff.
when did they think they were gonna have that done?
Which one?
PA or Squim? I mean,
I don't
their
know.
projects would be done before we got going on ours.
Probably, yeah.
They hope so.
But the good news in that will position us in for, well, who knows what can happen in 2 or 3 years, but hopefully we would be positioned to get good contractors out here too. The fact that we had 6 apply for an RFQ was amazing, honestly. We have choice.
Yeah, and it was good choices.
Mhm,
I
good
mean,
choices.
these were not marginal
No,
organizations. They
Mm-mm.
were pretty together.
So how long did this process take on this building
Hmm.
from your start to finish?
we passed the bond in 2009 of February, and we started construction in 2010 and opened up the doors in 2011, 2012.
Well, it was 2012, because we were putting things in the building in 2011, in that December.
So a few years.
Yeah, in today's climate, you want to speed it up and you want to have as clear and accurate documents as you can prior to passing the bond because of inflation. And so if you can get that done in a short time where you go pass your bond and your documents are ready and you can get your construction rolling immediately, you have a lot to win in today's climate.
And that's the
That's our
committee's
goal.
thinking is to hire someone who will do the pre-designs, the pre-planning before the bond election, so we can use that information, their diagrams, and all, get all that worked out to help sell the bond.
So in Sequim and Port Angeles passed on just ed specs and an estimate. They don't have all the documents ready. We want to get all the documents ready up front as much as possible. It will cost you more on the front end, but save you lots throughout the construction
that's
process. And that's what we learned from all of the
Yeah.
architects. Every one of them said the same thing in today's climate.
Yeah, and we looked at that WASA, remember, we went to that, did you go to that class?
Progressive
Yeah,
design,
progressive
yeah.
design, and it costs you more upfront, but long run, you'll be well ahead, because a lot of times what happens, they'll say you can have this, but then you get the price tag on it, and it's like, really? You guys gotta go back and fix this. And this time you're involved in the beginning of design and what you can afford. So if you just give it to architect, draw up plans, this is kind of what we want, and they come back, the price tag gets like out of the world. You just gotta go back again, redo it so you get underneath.
And they would help us in the
Yeah.
community,
Right.
To answer questions, get designs. We'll do the same thing we did before, with a citizen committee to help design it, plus whatever else it takes to get information. So it's working. It's starting to, the process is beginning. All right.
Thank you for giving up 9 hours. My head hurt by the end of that day.
All I could think about, I couldn't sleep all night. All I did was think about building. Yeah, Myron, it's your turn. What's going on? You or Sheila, whichever one wants to.
Well, we got some pretty big news. I sent this to Diana earlier this morning. We have 3 of our students in our middle school that participated in a virtual event with the Business Professionals of America. And they were selected in the top 10 finalists and have been invited to go to Orlando, Florida to attend the national conference.
Wow.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
So that's pretty exciting. We're really proud of those kids doing so. So we're trying to work through logistics, those kinds of things, and figuring out how we can help them get there. That's really, really cool. And I don't remember if I mentioned last time, but we actually got our NCAA approval again. So with the NCAA approval, we got that actually restored. So all of our courses going forward from this year to the future are fully NCAA accredited now.
Oh, good.
Let's call it with.
What grade do you know what grade levels the kids are? Victoria, Zamari, and Cody?
I don't. I have to look them up. I cannot remember the exact grade levels.
Top 10.
What did they have to do?
They participated. It was social marketing is what they were doing, is social media marketing. So they did some sort of event. They did an event with social media marketing, and just did an amazing job and are being recognized. We're excited and proud of them.
Good. Well, tell them congratulations. There'll be a little extra in their first paycheck in their new business life. Anything else? Not that that's not enough.
On the business operations side of things, I will share that this is the time of year where we're kind of toggling between finishing strong and getting ready for next year. So even really hard to believe, but we're getting ready to open re-registration for fall. I think Myron's school starts, I want to say next week, if I'm not mistaken. Just crazy that we're here already. So we're gearing up for that. We're having a student information system transition. We're moving over to Power School. So we have lots of training going on for staff and trying to get as far ahead of this for the smoothest transition possible across the board. So things are super busy, but yeah, this is that time of year where you're like I said, finishing strong and gearing up for a strong fall.
Good. Glad to hear it. Keep up the good work. Okay, let's move on to new business. Our asset preservation report. Oh, we're gonna need two motions on this, right? One for
Correct.
the high school and one for the CTE. It's,
I think you just need one.
Need one.
Yeah.
oh,
Same one we do
No, I
each
put
year.
one,
Okay.
but it was just. 'cause they
just the
split
one
it.
motion then?
Yeah.
Cover them both?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move the motion if you want. And then if there are any questions or comments. So is there a motion then to approve the asset preservation reports for the high school, Forks High School and the Forks High School CTE?
I'll make a motion to approve the asset preservation report for the high school and high school CTE.
Thank you.
I'll
Is there a
second.
Thanks, Ron. Comments or questions? Bill, do you have anything to?
This was a pretty in-depth.
Yeah. Consultant one, right?
What's that?
Was this a consultant?
This
here?
was
So-
actually tied into our state study and survey. So we had 5 or 6 engineers here when they came through. So we had mechanical that was here that walked the entire building, looked at everything all the way through. We had structural here, we had electrical here. So there was a lot that they really went through on this one, just to look at everything. And that was part of our planning process for the middle school replacement, the state study and survey. So they went and did all of our buildings like they normally do for a state study and survey, but they really went through this really well. So I felt really good with these guys going through there. We have some problems. Our building's getting a little older and we're starting to get a few leaks here and there around our HVACs where the piping comes together and ties together. It's the expansion and contraction, especially when we lose power. Water contracts, the heat, and we start dripping in spots. We have to go up there and tighten just a little bit. But for the most part, it was pretty good. So yeah, and again, it was really good because we were able to tie this into the seismic study because we just ended up getting OSPI sent out a grant that said that we were awarded a grant for a natural disaster, basically a seismic study is what it was. And we were able to tie these two together. And so structural actually had already gone through and tied everything into the seismic. So we're done. They gave us 6 months to have it completed and we're finished with that. So Brett was just tying in the auxiliary gym today to finish that up. So, and then I believe they were tying the 2 buildings together. So the 2011 and 2000 building at Nitros, they're going to tie it together, being that they're not separate buildings, they're all one. They were just built at different times.
So the exterior part where it shows 62% fair, are they referring to that side of where the hardy plank is coming down?
Where the hardy plank was on that section there. And then like in the CTE building with all the soot and stuff from the welding area needs to be gone through, scrubbed and repainted in there as well. So there were some lower ones on a few of those.
So some of these items that are fixable, we'll definitely want to do with our new EP&O levy. The one on the list is that if you've not looked, if you just walk around the building or drive, you can see some of the areas that they're talking about, definitely.
So we boomed up there because that's been on our list to replace some of that stuff. We just haven't gotten the time to get to it yet. We're finding that, so they screwed the hardy plank in because what they did is they furred it out. So it's furred out from the wall with metal and they screwed it in. Well, they didn't even screw the end in. It missed. There's nothing there. So they're falling and they're breaking, they're cracking as they go up. And so
They were too far out.
we're gonna have to fur that out some and then tie to it so that those don't break.
Yeah,
So, is what it is. So
you contract that out.
we're gonna, the smaller sections we can do. So we're gonna try to do those smaller sections and try to get to those.
It's funny they didn't catch that on the inspector when we got a final on it.
Yeah, well, there's a screw there. It just didn't touch anything.
Well, I know,
You
but
know?
yeah.
Well, you would have thought the guys putting the screws in would have noticed that there wasn't any
Well,
resistance to
probably
their screw once they got through the side.
Well, what we learned,
Alright,
it's
oh well.
really important that you have your architect there when the contractors are doing things so that they're the ones managing are helping us manage and making sure that we're,
And that's one of the,
Somebody hired to do that.
I'm,
So, and there's a few other things we've seen down there on the far end of the building, down off the multi-purpose gym. We have all that hardy plank, but it's actual sheets of hardy that are up on the building, and we've gotten some cracks in those. And I want to look at actually replacing those with something else instead of having a big wall like that where all that heat hits it. You get the expansion and contraction all the time. So we're getting some cracks there. We went in and caulked those back up and such, but it's going to need to have something better put on that wall.
so once
In the future.
we'll be, as Sheila said, we'll be starting the budgeting process, and that'll be part of what we'll take a look at this and add these to our lists and get that 4-year plan for the next CP&O levy, which starts on January 1 of 2026, going through 2029, and we'll plot those in according to how serious they are.
Mhm.
That's part of what we do for that. And then this ICOS is what we have to have moving from 1990s buildings,
96.
96 and forward for any, I won't be here when they're passing the bond 30 years from now, but this is their mechanism of tracking. God, I hope not. This is a mechanism of tracking whether or not you're keeping up with things and what the condition of your buildings are.
Correct, and it's for 30 years is what it is with the state. So we're getting pretty close on the 2000 building. And
Can't even believe that.
yeah, isn't that hard to believe?
Seems like it was built the other day.
Yeah.
I know it.
Crazy.
So another good thing I just wanted to bring up was we actually used the generator recently, right before we had that power outage right before the wrestlers went to state. And it was so nice to have that generator on and going because it powered up. I mean, the entire 2000 wing is powered up. You couldn't tell there was any difference whatsoever. So it'd be nice. We'll make sure that, that's turned on during the winter months. So if we're in a basketball game or anything like that, give it 30 seconds and it should be back on by.
Yeah, I thought you had it on auto now.
We turned it on manual at the time just because these little power outages, they want to flicker back and forth. It takes a while. When we turned it on for that practice, you can't just turn it right back off. So on the inside of the building, you actually have to go out to the unit itself and turn it off out at the unit itself. So they did all their practice and stuff, and then I went in there and disengaged it, and it didn't disengage. It stayed running. So now I know I have to go out there and physically shut it off, is what it is.
Yeah, but during the winter months, you're gonna have that. So as soon as lights go out, that's gonna crank up, right? Because
Yeah, it will be.
you
turned
don't
on.
have to come down and do it.
No,
Why there's
no.
people sitting in the
But we can
stands.
manually do stuff too.
But there's an auto though,
Yes.
so that you would put it in.
Correct, it's engaged in auto, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have that. So
I guess-
it will kick back
does
on. So
it-
it was really nice to see it though used and how much.
Does it hook into the stadium?
It is, it's tied into the
So then
stadium
if-
lights.
during football games, if it goes off, it start
Those-
right up. and
Yep, those football
Get the
field lights
lights
will kick on.
and, good.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
They're tied into that.
I don't think it's ever happened, but I don't know why. Some of those November days is windy and
Mhm.
blowing rain sideways.
Good,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. The other thing we're kind of putting together, just so you guys are aware, is that the lighting package for the football field. We've talked to Tim Butts with Musco Lighting, and we're working with them to get Diana the budget for next year as part of the levy. And so. we should have
Retrofitting
those.
the lights, yeah,
So that should
with
fill the
LEDs. and colored light so kids can do
Yeah.
fun things
Fun.
during competition. Mhm.
Any
For
questions on
dances.
anything? Okay, well, I
No,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
All righty, we have the motion. It's been seconded. All those, any other questions or comments about this? These asset preservation report? If not, all those who are in favor of approving the report, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. They are approved. Let's move now to our board policy 6217, electronic funds transfer, second reading. Is there a motion to adopt board policy 6217?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments? Seemed rather straightforward if you're a money person. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, it is passed. Any need to talk about the procedure further on anybody's part? All right, well then, at the time of 6:35 PM, Daylight Savings Time Pacific, we are adjourned. That took 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Bye, Sheila and Myron. Thank
Good
you.
night. Have a good night. Good evening. Bye.